Alright, so here is, once again, the big pond. It's not huge, but it's the biggest one I have, so I call it the big pond. At some point, I'm going to have a bigger pond, and then that one will become the big pond. But for now, here is the big pond. Here we have it. It may not look like much now, but it looks way better than it did before. And then when I throw in some pond clarifier and that filter and stuff starts cycling through for the next couple of days, it will probably be crystal clear, most likely. Still filling up, as you can see, still got the hose in there filling up. Has, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches more yet to go in terms of it being completely full. But here it is. The fish are already in there, as you can kind of see. There's the fish. You can actually somewhat see the bottom. Kinda. Yeah, there you go. There's the bottom. There's just a lot of stuff like sitting on the top of the water, which I will take care of at some point. But like I said, gonna let the filter do its thing. Gonna let the pond clarifier gonna do its thing. Gonna help break down a lot of that waste I wasn't able to get. But I mean, it looks way better than it did before. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to this tank I have that the turtles are in. These are the turtles. So there's only a couple red-eared sliders in here. These are the turtles that are in this pond year-round. So like spring, summer, winter, fall, the whole 9 yards. They are in here. They never go inside, which is the reason these are the only ones you're seeing now. All the other ones that come outside are still inside. I'm not comfortable bringing anything out just yet because the weather is still like super iffy. We're still getting nights that dip down into like the 30s. Just the other day, I woke up in the morning to go leave for work, and I had to scrape my windshield off because of the frost. So, I mean, the map turtles and the terrapin would probably be fine out here with that kind of weather, but I don't want to jump them from a stable inside temperature to out here where it has a lot of fluctuation when these guys are used to it. So, I probably still have 3 to 4 weeks left of them being inside, but that will help me get caught up on all the maintenance I have to do with the box turtle enclosure, the ponds I have, and then with that thing over there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of the more tropical species like the side necks, they absolutely cannot come outside until the weather is more just normal. Like, it's not on such a random, it's just super random. Like a couple days ago it was in the 80s for a couple days, and then yesterday it was super cold, and then today it's not bad. So I just want to get it so we're having decent temperature days consecutively. Then I can start bringing stuff out. So in here, got the sliders. There's one of them. We got Fireball right there. You kind of see her. Sally. That guy. I don't think he has a name yet. Who's that? Phelps right there, and then we have Sly back there. Unfortunately, and I was kind of surprised to find this, when I was draining the pond to get the turtles out, we actually ended up losing a red-eared slider this winter. I found like pieces of like shell bone on the bottom, and it looks a lot like red-eared slider. And there was, so like this guy here, he came with 2 when I got him off Craigslist. So it was one of them, or like one of the 2 of them, which is super unfortunate. And I don't know, it might just have been something weird, because here we have 5 sliders, so 4.5, because 4 are red-eared sliders and 1 is a red-eared slider, yellow belly slider hybrid, which did perfectly fine, and they're perfectly healthy. So just something weird with that one. It's really unfortunate, but like I said, I don't know, it was over winter. There's not a whole lot I could have done, and everybody else is perfectly fine. So it just have been something weird with that one turtle. It's still really unfortunate, and you hate to see it, but when you have so many exotic animals, at some point something's bound to happen. So that's that pond. We'll go ahead and throw those guys in a minute, but I want to show you guys where I'm at with these enclosures. Here we have a giant mess. That filter needs thrown away. Just some landscaping for the box turtle pen. Not a whole lot going on in here. Just needs a lot of attention. Wintering is hard on enclosures. As you can see in this one, it looks disgusting. But there's frogs and fish, and this is the common snapper pond. He's doing well. I found him today. Saw him for the first time in like probably close to 6 or 7 months now. So I was excited to see that he's doing well. This is his pond. I took the filter out, as you can see right there. Took the filter out, took out some of the logs and whatnot that was in there, some of the rocks. I still left a few in there. My plan was to clean this out today, but that just ended up taking longer than I thought. It was way dirtier than I originally thought. So I'll probably have to get to this one like tomorrow or the next day. So I left some of this stuff in there just so that the turtle and the fish would have somewhere to hide. But then there's some stuff out here. Obviously got some weeds to pull around the enclosure. Just like I did with that one, as you can see, there's just weeds everywhere. Just regular maintenance, springtime maintenance. Got to do this every year. It stinks, but it's just part of it. If you live up north, it's just something that you're gonna have to do if you have outdoor enclosures. Like I said before, wintering, like overwintering enclosures like this, is not the easiest thing. It does take a toll on everything you got. So nothing that a little bit of maintenance and cleaning can't handle, but if you don't like getting your hands dirty with this kind of stuff, you're either going to have to buy a super expensive filter or, I don't know, just figure it out. But here's this enclosure. I drained this one to get started on it today as well. And I actually ended up finding leeches in this pond, which surprised me because I hardly ever find leeches in ponds ever, which is kind of surprising, but at the same time, 'cause like I said, it's bound to happen at some point. Not a ton, but a lot of this slate must have fallen in over the winter. Also, just to let you know, this is where the soft shell was. The soft shell actually ended up moving inside, like in the middle of the winter, because at some point, the filter, you can kind of see where it's green right here, and then it kind of stops. I don't know if you can tell. At some point over the winter, water started draining out, and I was afraid that it was going to keep draining out like while I was working or something, and I was going to end up losing everything in the pond. So I took out the turtle, brought it inside, and put the fish and stuff in the big pond, and they're all doing great. But a lot of the slate must have fallen in, and as I was draining it and cleaning it out, I grabbed the slate to take out the pond, and there was a bunch of leeches in the bottom. Not like a ton, not a crazy amount, and just little leeches. So what I did was took as much water out of it as I could. I have all the slate and stuff that was in the pond out on the banks drying out, and for the next couple weeks I'm just gonna let this entire pond just dry out. I'm gonna leave it out here in the sun. Hopefully we'll get a nice couple warm days, and this entire pond will just dry out. I can scoop out all the sand, put new sand in, and I might actually just kind of redo this enclosure. I don't really like the slate, the way that everything looks. I don't like how the slate constantly is falling in there. So I might have to think of a different plan for this one. But for right now, it's just under construction. Like I said before, drying it out, and yeah, that's about it. So now we're gonna move on to putting the turtles back in the pond. I think there's enough water in it. I like putting the fish in there first so they can get acclimated to the temperature, so they have a better chance of getting away when the turtles go in there. But I also don't like putting the turtles in there when there's so little water, because a lot of the times, what has happened before, and I've caught them doing this, they'll like climb up on these logs and stuff, and then they'll try to like jump back in, but there's like hardly any water in it, and I'm just afraid that they're gonna like drop on one of these bricks or like one of the rocks or something. So I'm just trying to look out for them. So there should be enough water in it where we can go ahead and throw them in. Let's go ahead and grab a Sly here. Like I said before, these are all red ear sliders. Nothing that you guys haven't seen before, but it is nice to check up on our guys, make sure they're doing all right. Go ahead and drop Sly in. I always like to let them take their time and kind of take off when they want to. There she goes. And all of these turtles are females except for one, which is Phelps, which is nice. I think if for some reason I were to get a red ear that was a male, or have the opportunity to get one, I'd probably have to pass on it, just because sliders can get nasty. Two males together can get real nasty. So here's Sally, looking big and beautiful as always. This is such a textbook slider. I love this turtle so much. Look at her. There she is. I know I'm going to get a question on it. No, I'm not trying to breed sliders. All of these sliders are turtles that have just come to me. I don't go out and search out sliders. They just show up, ones that people contact me about. No, I'm not trying to take any more in, but these are all like you can call rescue turtles. So take that for what you will. Here we have the male. This is Phelps. Beautiful male slider, king of the pond. There he is, absolutely gorgeous as always. Look at this dude. Such a good looking turtle, this guy. Here he goes, getting dropped in the pond. No, I'm not trying to breed these turtles. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't found babies before, but if I were to ever find or see one of the turtles nesting in here, I'll just let whatever happens happens. I wouldn't dig up the eggs, try to incubate it, nothing like that. So we'll just let nature take its course. So here's one of the Craigslist sliders. Beautiful turtle, and it's really unfortunate the other one didn't make it. But I don't know, for some reason it just didn't make it. So this is a female. Beautiful turtle as well. Red-eared sliders are such beautiful turtles. There's a reason that these are so dang popular, and they're invasive in just about everywhere. It's because they're beautiful turtles and they have a ton of personality. All right, so we got one more to put in after her. Oh, shoot. Startled her. She's gonna take off here in a second. Yep, there she goes. There you go. All right. Here we have the one Fireball. Big old female, red-eared slider, yellow-bellied slider, hybrid, intergrade, whatever you want to call it. Both are acceptable in my book, but here she is, an absolute stunner. Look at that. Can't deny how beautiful that turtle is. Such a cool turtle. Plastron. There she is. Drop her in. And we'll call it a day. Oh, she's gonna be shy on us, huh? No? There she goes. Alright, and there they are.